Hello and welcome to this tutorial on setting up Scheduleworx. Now there are a few ways that you can access the software. Some are watching this video from BusinessWorks, which I am using, and others are using a standalone version. Either way, the process is exactly the same. This is the home page for Scheduleworx. We're going to get into here in a moment and I'll show you how to create appointments. But right now we want to customize Scheduleworx so it works with our business. So the first place we need to go is settings. So click on the logo and name on the top right of the screen and click on settings. That takes us to the general settings for BusinessWorks. Anyways, what we want are the Scheduleworx settings, which you're going to find on the left side in this menu. Click on that, and here are our Scheduleworx settings. As you can see, there's 4 settings. We have our install base settings, which is where you designate bays and work areas for handling appointments. Then we have team members. That's where you add technicians and members of your sales team that you can then assign to the appointments that you create. We have scheduled text settings. That's where you can customize the text message that you send to customers to confirm their appointments. You can also use a default message that we've created. Then there's a vehicle pickup text settings where you can customize the message you send to customers when the work is completed. Again, you can also use the default. We're going to start with the install base settings. All right, let's start by adding a few install bays to the system. As you can see, we've already entered a few, first, second, and third, but you can customize this list any way that you want. So I'm going to add a few more. Let's add a window tint bay. It's already on my list. And let's add a custom work bay. And a lot of stores do remote work, so let's add a bay called off-site so that you know when an appointment is off premises. And we'll add that to the list as well. And it's that easy. Now that when you create an appointment, you can choose any one of these 6 bays to assign that appointment to. Let's go back to the settings. All right, next up, let's add some team members. So as you can see here, we've already added a few people while testing the system, but nothing stopping us from adding a couple more. It's just as simple as adding some information about those employees, and the benefit is that it's just another place where you can track things like phone numbers and emails and things like that for your employees as well. So let's just create a new employee. We'll call him Joe Blow. Give him a fictional phone number here. And we'll add a new email address from him as well, jblow@hotmail.com. He's a technician or a salesperson. Let's just say he's a technician. Let's say his color should be blue, green, red, orange, or purple. Let's make him purple. And this is where we add his hours that he works every week. This gives you an idea of how many total employee hours you have in a given week, which lets you measure your efficiency, which is how many of those hours are actually booked up by clients. So let's say he works 8 hours on Monday, 8 hours on Tuesday, 8 on Wednesday, 8 on Thursday, 8 on Friday. He doesn't work on Saturday and Sundays, and let's add him to the list. Perfect. That employee will now get an email from you saying that he's been added to the system, and it'll give him a default password as well so he can log on for the first time using his email address and his password. That way he's able to access everything in Scheduleworx as well without accessing the other apps inside of BusinessWorks if you're using Scheduleworx from BusinessWorks. And that's basically it for adding new members to your team. Let's go back to the settings. Next up, let's take a look at the scheduled text settings. Now, every time that you create a new appointment in Scheduleworx, you have the option of sending the customer a text message confirming the date and the time. This is the default message, but you can customize it or add to it in any way. For example, I can change "Have a great day" to "See you soon." Also, if I lived in an area that had a lot of people who didn't speak English, I might actually do a translated version of this below so that the customer can understand what I'm saying. Whatever you do, if you do customize this message, do not change anything inside of these brackets. This tells the system to get your store name out of the system, and this tells the texting service to get the appointment date and time out of the system as well. So that's very important. And if you delete these or change them, it probably won't work properly without that information. So once you've made any changes that you want to make, just click here to update the store. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Let's head back to Scheduleworx settings. Last but not least, we have the vehicle pickup text settings, which is basically the same as the schedule text settings. When your installer completes a job, they can open that appointment in Scheduleworx and send out a text message to the customer to let them know that the work is now complete. This is the default text message, which again, you can customize in any way. And that's pretty much it. The next video, we'll look at how to use the software to create appointments. Thank you for using Scheduleworx.